So good morning, buenos dias. I work for Ecom, which is the Ecom company in Vietnam, and for SMS, who do the sustainability program for Ecom in Vietnam. So I'm very happy to be here today to speak about Vietnam coffee 10-year development. When I first came to Vietnam in 1990, the production was about 50,000 tons, mostly exported to the Eastern Europe countries and Russia. And then now Vietnam became the second coffee exporter in the world after Brazil, and the first for Robusta. So this crop, we are talking about 29 million bags, 1.7 million tons. So the growth has been massive, a huge development. So in this presentation, we will try to understand the reason of this growth. So I will talk about Vietnam coffee overview first, then Robusta and Arabica, coffee sustainability development, which is a major issue in Vietnam now, the local market consumption, and finally the development challenges for Vietnam and the opportunity for the Vietnam coffee sector. So I will start with a brief history of the coffee in Vietnam to understand more how the development happened. So coffee was introduced in Vietnam in 1870 at the end of the 19th century by the French missionary who actually wanted to have their cup of coffee in the morning before they pray. So they bring the first coffee plant from the Bourbon Island, La Réunion now, and coffee started like this in Vietnam. In 1930, Vietnam has about 6,000 hectares of coffee, mostly the French plantation. Then in 1960, 1970, Vietnam had 13,000 hectares, mainly Arabica, and in the state-owned enterprise in North Vietnam. So in 1975, means at the end of the war, the Vietnam War, the total acreage were 13,000 hectares, so about 6,000 ton production, very small. So then from 1975 onwards, the coffee has been developed in the island, the growing area, and it increased to 120,000 hectares. So it was mostly due to a political decision from the Vietnamese government to settle down the soldiers, the veterans of the war with their family in the island in order to develop industrial cultivation, because these islands are also very strategic. They are near Laos and near Cambodian border, and a lot of ethnic minorities are living there. So it was also a way for the Vietnamese government to keep control on this area. So in 2001, we have 565,000 hectares cultivated with a total production of 800,000 tons. And at that year, the London Future in market drops to below about $350. So that was the reason why the government and Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development advised to reduce the total area to 500,000 hectares maximum in order to avoid negative effect on the international price. But actually it didn't happen, and in fact we see the contrary, an increase of the area, because now we are about 615,000 hectares for a production of 1.7 million tons this year. So you can see it's massive. So actually farmers are continuing to do the deforestation and to plant new coffee trees. So this is a picture taken in Lam Dong province, one of the main growing areas. So you can see the coffee plantation. It's quite hilly. And in Lam Dong province, Ecom has two coffee mills, one Arabica and one Robusta. In Vietnam, the coffee production, you have 95% Robusta and only 5% Arabica. The key production area are the 5 Central Island provinces. Here, so you see it's central south of Vietnam, near Cambodia. And you have also mostly Robusta and some Arabica in Nam Dong. You have also some Arabica in the Sen La province near the Chinese border, but this is minor compared to the Central Island. So the 5 main provinces are Dak Lak, Dak Nong, Lam Dong, Gia Lai, and Kon Tum. So the exported coffee is mainly classified by Vietnamese standard. The code is TCVN 419393. Many coffee gardens now are aged 20-25 years old and need to be replanted. So actually it's mostly small farm size dominance with 90% less than 2 hectares, so very small farms. So the production growth in the period, the 10 years period 2002-2012, so the coffee production has been increased double in the last 10 years. The weather sometimes has shown negative impacts, but actually could not change the growth. The quality has been improved since new planting come into production and infrastructure improvement. So the processing technology also improved and the supply chain strengthened. So you can see in 2002-2003, we have 12 million bags equivalent to 700,000 tons. And now in 2012-2013, so 10 years later, we have 25 million bags equivalent to 1.5 million tons. The last crop, 2012-2013. So the chart is talking by itself. You can see this growth. So the key acreage and production growth. Actually, we have about 16% acreage expanded in the last 10 years, but we have more than 50% increase in production, which is huge. So in 2001-2002, 532,000 hectares. The 2 following crops, it was a drop because the London price dropped, so farmers shifted to other products when the London price dropped, and then after 2007-2008, it grew again up to now to 600,000 hectares. And for the production, the same, 790,000 in 2001-2, a little drop this crop, and then start again up to the last crop. So this growth can be explained by the following reasons. The coffee profit margin was high in comparison to other crops, so that was an incentive for the farmers. The varieties, we have new varieties, grafting, seedling production and management. Fertilizer improvement also. Acreage expansion, yield improve. Density management with the grafting, replanting and farm caring. And also government supports from the research institution, from the MIRD, Ministry of Agriculture, and his branch NAEC, and central plant production. So if we talk about Robusta for the cost of production, we conducted a survey, SMS, and we found out that the direct cost of production for farmers is about $1,300 per ton. This you can see the biggest expense is inorganic fertilizer, about $500 in chemical fertilizer, urea, okay. Then you have cherries collection, about $250-300. That's the harvesting time when the workers have to work in the plantation. And then organic fertilizer, husking, drying, transport, bank interest, pruning. So totally about $1,300 per ton. And the farm gate price was about $1,600. 2 months ago, when the farm gate price is the price the farmer can sell to the collectors and get the margin. So it's it's higher than the cost of production. But of course, if we saw low export in the last few months, September, October, because the live price were very close to the farm gate price. So the farmers tend to sell less than, of course, if the price is high. So the Vietnam coffee export track, that gives you an idea. The harvesting time is 3 months time, or from October to December. So we are in full harvesting time at the moment. Then after you can see the export is rising in January, because actually the farmers have to repay back buy coffee, the loan from the collector, the money they borrow from collector. Then you have a sharp drop here, because it's end January, early February, it's a Tet festival in Vietnam, the Lunar New Year. So everything is frozen during 2 weeks, so no activity mostly, and then it starts again after February, March. So you have the peak of the export from January to May, and then the valley is from June to September. But actually now, Vietnam export all the year long. There is no stop actually. They continuously export coffee. So about Robusta, the total export up to now for the last crop, 2012-2013, about 1.4 million tons. Mostly it's grade 2 and grade 1. So you can see 50% grade 2 and 45% grade 1. Grade 1 is the higher quality, with Spring 16, Spring 18. And grade 3, which is low quality and low grades, are almost nothing. I mean, it's mostly used for local consumption, so it's not really exported. So the Robusta coffee export destination for the last crop. So Vietnam exported to 70 countries with all the key roasters, Nestlé, Kraft, Chibo, Duguay, Master Blender, all the big roasters, mostly to Europe. So you can see Germany, Spain, Italy, Belgium, France. Then USA is the second destination after Europe, 157,000 tons. And then you have Japan, Ecuador now, Russia, Mexico. And the balance is 400,000 tons. It's a country from Scandinavia, Norway, Sweden, Finland, North Africa, Morocco, Algeria, South of Europe, Portugal, Greece, Israel, South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, Korea. So all over the world, basically. The Arabica crop, we saw an increase from 30,000 tons to more than 60,000 tons in the last 10 years, so it's double. The production reached the limit actually now, it's hardly to be increased. The quality is medium, but it becomes more and more an alternative for the roaster. And it's mostly wet processing product dominance. So also the USA is the main destination with more than 18,000 tons, followed by Europe, England, Germany. So about the Vietnam new crop this year, 2013-2014, it was about 2 weeks earlier compared to the last crop, so it's in full harvesting now. The production forecast is a 10% increase from last crop, so about 29 million bags, equivalent to 1.7 million tons. So it's a big crop. We have also high stock carry forward from the last crop, 2012-2013, 150,000 tons. Smaller bean size due to a little drought who happened in March, April. And also policy change in value-added tax reimbursement caused some delay export. Last crop, we saw some speculators who were we call the VAT players, who actually didn't pay tax to the government, so they can afford to pay a better price to farmers and collectors. So that was a bit of turmoil in the market. So if we compare the advantage and disadvantage of Vietnam coffee, first for Arabica. The Arabica is more competitive price than Robusta. It's medium quality and it's harvesting earlier than Robusta, in August and September. The disadvantage, the negative point, is it's complicated harvesting and processing because farmers tend to harvest unripened beans, green beans, together with the red beans. Also, difficulty of farm practices, low capacity of pest and disease resistance, and limited planting acreage. For Robusta, we have a medium quality, good varieties and yield, acceptable farming practice, and value chain setup. The negative point are small farm size dominance, weather change, more drought threat now, old tree, soil degradation, pest and disease threats, nematodes, and shortage of labor more and more. The young people are moving, people are moving to the cities to find job or become worker in the factories there. Now I come to sustainability. So we'll talk about the sustainability development in Vietnam and what ECOM and SMS we are doing there. So I like very much this African proverb because actually it really gives us the sense of what sustainability is about. It's about the future of generation and it's also about the future of the coffee cultivation. So it's more than an heritage, it's also for the future. So the sustainability coffee development, ACOM is about 11% of the total. We saw also a very huge increase. It started quite low, the sustainable program in 2008, mostly with 4C, and then it increased slowly, and then 2012 we see a big increase. So now we have more than 400,000 tons of certified coffee, mostly 4C, Oots, Rainforest Alliance, and Café Practice for the Arabica. And ACOM is doing about 40,000 tons of this certified coffee. So our activities in Vietnam, we establish a FTC, Farmer Training Center, in Lam Dong Province, which is our main area we work. So this Farmer Training Center was inaugurated in March 2012. And it's a technical hub for the coffee farmers. We have a demo for fertilizer and pesticide. We also organize training workshop there. We train the farmers, and also it's a bridge for the certified coffee to traders and roasters. It's a linkage a link for the coffee stakeholders to the supply chain. And we plan to open a second FTC in Gia Lai province. So totally we have 6,000 certified farmers, equivalent to 40,000 tons. So the purpose is to mobilize farmers in certified coffee production group, 50 to 60 farmers per group. Each group has a group leader, which is co-opted by them. We organize TOT, training of trainer also, and as I say, a training workshop, 4 training for farmers per year, following the coffee crop cycle. Means pruning, irrigation, fertilizing, and pest and disease management. We also have a cooperation with agricultural extension services to organize farm visits, to consult experts. So every year we have auditing and certification granting for the main certification, merchandising and research and development, so about the different varieties, fertilizer. We have a nursery garden, we have coffee seedlings and shade tree seedlings. Shade trees we distribute freely to our Rainforest Alliance farmers. Now we start also to develop drip irrigation at our demo farm, because we think drip irrigation is a solution in future for water use, and it's also very good for fertigation. It's a better application of fertilizer. So we cooperate with Netafim, an Israel company, with their equipment. We also have cooperation with Yara, a Norwegian company, for the fertilizer and nutrient programs, and also soil analysis. So the Vietnam domestic coffee consumption market, of course Vietnam used to be a tea drinking country. Even coffee farmers are drinking tea more than coffee. But the consumption has increased 4 times after 10 years. Now we are at 1.15 kilo per person per year, and it's continuously growing. The famous international brands has come to Vietnam, like Nestlé, Starbucks. They open shops in Ho Chi Minh City. Local brands are also showing strong growth, like Trung Nguyen, Island Coffees. So the domestic consumption is at 110,000 tons, mostly growing with the young generation who drink more and more coffee in the cities. So you can see from 2002 to 2003, we were at 24,000 ton consumption. Now we are at about more than 100,000 ton. So the development challenge for the Vietnam coffee sector, as you can see, Vietnamese women are also working very hard in the coffee plantation. That's the tradition. So the yields in Vietnam are among the highest in the world, from 2.5 to sometimes 4 or even 5 tons per hectare, which is huge. This is mostly due to heavy usage of fertilizer and not because of the farmers' efficiency. The fertilizer used are not necessarily adapted and leading to soil acidification and creating soil phytotoxicity. Mostly they use cheap fertilizer like urea, who actually increase the acidity of the pH of the soil. So fertilizer use are not correctly applied also, no soil analysis, creating soil imbalance, nutrient deficiency like magnesium. So the average farm size is small, about 2 hectares, and does not allow economy of scale. Despite important yield, up to 3 tons per hectare, Robusta farmers' net incomes does not exceed $5,000 per year, so that not encourage them to grow coffee on the longer term. Farmers will constantly assess the profitability of the coffee over the other commodities, and they will continue to grow the most profitable one. So if the coffee market is really going down, they will shift to rubber, to corn, to vegetables. Even now in some provinces, they don't replant coffee trees, but they move to rubber. They export a lot of rubber to China. China is a big market for Vietnam. So the average age of producing trees is very high. Now it's between 20 to 25 years old. So when the trees are replaced, it's not uprooted, but simply cut, and a young tree is planted. So we have high risk of disease propagation like nematodes. So there is no real incentive for farmers to improve the quality. The quality standards are very low and focus mostly on the quantity. Will the roaster and the final consumer always accept such low quality? That's a question. The legislation issues also, it's a challenge with the bias competition. The foreign companies are not allowed to buy directly from farmers, but they have to buy through middlemen. So that's of course advantage the Vietnamese exporters. The farmers face difficulty to access to pre-financing. The pre-financing is mostly done by the collectors. So no access to finance because of no collateral to pledge the loans and because of bad banking industry structure. Little banks are in the countryside. So price of coffee unevenly distributed with middlemen catching part of it and with close to no added value. The other issues, as Vietnam is a relatively small country, about 350,000 square kilometers, so limited land availability to expand the production area, and also rural depopulation, young generation going to the city, so not interested to take over the farms from the parents. So what are the opportunities for Vietnam? That will be my conclusion. So farmers must receive an incentive big enough so they see a benefit in continuing to grow coffee, and similarly, once they retire, their children will consider to take over the business. So this is the essence of our sustainability programs, what we are doing at ECOM and SMS. First, to decreasing the inputs, so better usage of fertilizer, adequate product at the right time, usage of shade trees, so additional income from the shade trees if they are fruit trees, for example, and reduction of the water usage. Also increasing the output, so quality improvement through better post-harvest practice, better selection of new varieties through setup of nursery of best performing varieties, and rejuvenation of plantation. This is the main issue at the moment and for the coming years in Vietnam. So the government has a plan, but the problem is also the finance. So by those ways, we are trying to impact the behavior of the community we are working with by teaching the farmers, understanding the farmers for better farming practice that are more environment friendly, and showing them that better care for their community and for their surrounding environment improve their life as well. So, although yields are already high in Vietnam, we think there is more potential if the entire coffee community adopts a more sustainable approach. If the live London price remain at the level of 1,600 or above, if lower than that, it will be difficult. And if the demand for Robusta increase in emerging countries while staying stable in the US and in Europe, then maybe we can see a production of 2 million tons out of Vietnam. Okay, thank you very much for your attention.